So moving on to the next topic of this life discussions is feeling stuck. So moving on from the bad habits and the unproductive routines, the next thing that you'll find is that you'll often get stuck in ruts. And being stuck in a rut, especially a bad rut, I don't think you would classify a good rut. I don't think anyone's ever said having a good rut.
There's no such thing as a good rut.
So it's not a very nice word. So if we say like stuck in a rut, you know, you'll want to get out of that quickly by obviously changing the habits and stuff like that. But again, it's like, how do you get out of a rut? How do you get out of a bad rut? How do you get out of feeling stuck in life?
I feel like, first off, I feel like these two things are connected. So what we've just previously talked about with being productive and stuff, for those people that are stuck in a rut, obviously it's incredibly hard to go and do the productive routine that we just previously talked about.
Because they're not used to it.
Because they're stuck in like a continuously like kind of like a wheel, like a constant wheel, and like
hamster wheel.
Exactly, and the same old things going round, and they don't know how to get out of it. And sometimes I've found a lot of the time people that get stuck in ruts form a form of like anxiety when it comes to like life and trying to kind of get out of a rut and achieve something. They face a lot of anxiety and kind of in construction in that way. But I've never personally been in an actual rut. I wouldn't say personally.
I've been in lots, and it's not a pleasant thing to be in. It's like you just sit there and you question like everything that you do. You end up sitting there thinking, well, what's the point? Like, why? I'm just doing the same shit every day. What's the point in me even, you know, trying to do something productive? Because I'll probably just end up back in the same place anyway.
You can see it in a lot of people. Like say there's like people that you know of but you don't know, like acquaintances and stuff. If you talk to them or you see what they post online and stuff, you can kind of see you can almost see in someone's eyes the way that they approach life, the way that they talk, the way that they present themselves. They have that mindset where it's like, why even bother, why try? Like it's that kind of, you can just see when someone's in a rut. I feel like that I can see that sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, you can feel it in their vibe and the way they come across. Yeah. You're like, how's your day going, man? You alright? And they're like, yes, alright. And you just, there's that downward sigh at the end. You're like,
it's like, it happens a lot. Like for example, like myself personally, I always try to, and that's like someone says, oh, how's your day going? I always try to be positive about it. Like, it's I'm just happy.
Brilliant.
I've got to seriously say, I'm just happy to be alive. Like that's the way that I feel these days. But now, like as I say, you can see these people, and it's kind of, it's horrible because you can see it, but sometimes there's nothing you can really do to get them out of it. I feel like ruts are something that a lot of the time you personally have to get yourself out of.
Definitely.
Instead of like, there's a lot of things in life where like videos like this or someone's advice or your friends or your family can help you get out of things. And obviously all of those things will matter for someone that's in a rut, but you need to take the big step and go over the wall and be like, right, okay, I'm going to do this now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's the classic. So,
but how would you fully define a rut?
I would say a rut's like a series of habits that have hit a plateau.
Right, yeah,
where
I would agree.
They're not helping you anymore, and all you're doing is going in a loop like that. So you're waking up, you're doing this, doing this, back at the beginning,
it's like you're just hitting your head off a wall.
Yeah, you're just repeatedly bashing your skull off a wall for no reason other than it's all you've ever known and done. So like, a typical rut for a person that everyone's been through is school.
Yeah.
So like school, you kind of feel a little bit stuck in a rut.
Because it's like Groundhog Day every day.
It's like 5 days a week. You get up at 6, you go to school for 9. I don't know, you go to school for 9. You know, you come home at like 4 o'clock, whatever. You watch whatever crap is on TV. You might do a bit of homework and you go to bed.
It's almost like before you even start life, you get stuck in this rut for 10 years or whatever it is while you're throughout the whole journey of school. And it's the kind of similar rut that we've talked about before, where people with 9-to-5 jobs get stuck in.
In all fairness, though, the school rut's pretty A, compulsory, and B, necessary.
Exactly.
5 days a week, I think you'd probably lack some basic
exactly.
But like knowledge of life.
Kind of. Everyone just gets used to it, don't they? Like they get used to as a child, they get used to going to school, and that's just what you do, and you have like the weekends to go play out over that kind of thing. So that is kind of I'd say that's a rut that most people can relate
that's a
to.
productive routine as well.
It is, yeah, but most people can relate to that because everyone's went through school in one way or another.
I think there's a lot of people who've come to me, especially lately as well. I found it tends to be this kind of year where the back end of the year sort of like comes around, and then everyone's debating like New Year's resolutions.
Yeah,
and they've realised that throughout 2017 now, they've realised that they haven't done much, and that all they've done is the same thing they've done for the last 3 years or the last 2 years, whatever it is. Unless something massive's happened, but then
it's like the realization of a rut, pretty much. Yeah,
it's wonderful, right? Because like, there's a Christmas song, right? I know this is a bit weird bringing up, but bear with, right? There's a Christmas song. I think it's John Lennon's one where he's like, "So this is Christmas, and what have you done?"
Yeah,
I don't know how that's meant to be interpreted, right?
Yeah, I've never thought about that actually.
Yeah,
until
says,
now. Yeah,
and what have you done? And I always think every time I hear it, I'm like, "Shit, what have I actually done this year?"
It makes you question. Yeah,
it makes me think. Have I been stuck in a rut for this entire year?
Maybe that could be one of the hidden meanings in that song.
I think it is. Yeah. Apart from the fact that Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Presents.
But it's like a bittersweet type of thing, isn't it? Like it's like it's Christmas, but like what have I actually done? Like
it's like
you know what I mean?
you get it this time of year, and everyone feels stuck because if you're gonna start year in January, you do start year in January. January 2017 until now. It's like, what have you done in that time? Have you been stuck in a rut for that entire time? And if you have been, it's quite a depressing thought, especially as the year winds down. You think, am I going to go into another year of this same rut?
Isn't it a fact? I'm sure I read somewhere that Christmas time is the biggest kind of percentage of people that get depressed and things like that.
Yeah,
and it can be related to things like that.
Everyone's
not only being lonely during Christmas because everyone thinks it's like a family time. So those that are lonely, it makes it even worse. But it's that as well, I would say. You know what I mean?
But it's like, how to be stuck in a rut for an entire year is quite depressing. Like, I'm sorry, right? But if there is people that refuse to acknowledge that they're in a rut, and if they do, it's like they have a massive breakdown because it's finally the truth coming out.
I know of a few people off the top of my head that this is the case.
See, I've had messages lately that say, "Adam, I'm stuck," and I say, "Well, what do you want to do?" And what is the answer they all give? What's the 3-word answer that everyone gives when you ask them what do they want to do?
Eat some cheese.
That's right. I don't know. You ask them, what do you want to do? And they say, I don't know. And it's not
cheese
that,
would have been better.
Yeah, it's not that they've never thought about it. I want to eat a block of cheese. Cheese. It's not that they've never thought about it. They've always thought, everyone thinks about what they want to do. It's just that they've never considered putting themselves outside of this rut that they're in to get there. So it's like my rut. You've got
to picture yourself being better off sometimes, like, because if you can't envision yourself out of a rut or being productive, how are you meant to do those things? How are you meant to achieve those things?
See, one of the things that humans have about animals, like animals are always in a rut.
Yeah.
Most animals, it's only a survival instinct to eat, go sleep, eat, go sleep, eat, go sleep. But humans have the one thing that makes them unique. They're the most unique animals because they have this one thing. Mammals. It's not animals, One thing that makes them unique. And that is imagination. Imagination gives them the ability to see things before it happens. They have that ability to put themselves in situations that they aren't yet in, and to know what it looks like and to feel it, so that if it feels good, they'll know they want to be there. If it feels bad, they want to avoid it. So it's like, if you imagine, breaking up with your girlfriend, it feels horrible, so you want to avoid it. But if you imagine being on stage at like the Metro Radio Arena, for example, in front of thousands and thousands of people, it feels good, so you want to get there. That's the kind of like mindset that you want to have. It's like that imagination.
Dreams and stuff,
You want to be. Humans can imagine that stuff. Like, if you can imagine yourself out of a rut, it's possible to get out of it.
As I've said in previous videos as well, the human brain is the most powerful thing. So with that said, you can achieve anything, essentially. If you want to get somewhere or do something, as long as you use this brain in your head, you can do that. You know what I mean?
See, some people say, oh, everything's been done before, right? There was, Henry Ford?
Right.
Ford cars? He would, I don't know what the context was, but he says, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. And I love that because it's like he thought so outside the box.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
It
Yeah.
was like everyone would have said faster horses.
Everyone,
Nothing
it's like
completely
it's like his mind was on like a different level almost altogether. Yeah,
definitely. But you see what I mean? Like, it's like he imagined something, he found something that was just so out there and so ridiculous. Everyone would have laughed at him.
and look
said,
where
"That's
he is now.
impossible. You
Well,
just
he's
make
probably
faster
dead now,
horses."
but that's not the case.
But it's like he imagined something outside of what everyone else thought, and he did it.
And that
that's-
proves.
yeah.
Yeah, that proves.
That's the kind of mindset you want to have, especially if you're in a rut. Like, if you're in a rut, start imagining yourself out of it. Start implanting those positive thoughts.
Think
into your head.
what could my life be and what could my life look like if I wasn't stuck here right now? That's what I would say. Question that. Don't question the little things that you usually question when you are in a rut. Like, what's the point? Why am I here? What am I doing? Don't question those things. Question the bigger picture.
Also, there's quite a handy thing I found. I can't remember what book it was in. I think it might have been the Mystery Method book.
Right.
I think it might have been. It was like everyone has like a core that that everything you do will relate to that core in some way, even if you're not aware of it. So, but it's like he drew it like circles. So he had imagine a bullseye target, and in the middle bullseye was what you're meant to do. So he said everything that you'll end up doing in life is to meet that core, to get through the circles. And
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I
So
resonate
it was
with
like for me, I remember as a kid, I always helping people. Like you know, if it was with work or whatever, I was like helping people and making people feel better. Like you could say that's people pleasing, but in this context,
No.
let's leave that out.
Yeah.
So I like making people feel good and helping people because it made me feel good, made me feel useful. And then when I went to college, I wanted to fix things with people, fix the computers with people. You know, I wanted to help them.
So it's always doing something.
Yeah. And then and then I wanted to be in the police. Like I went and did the
And that relates back to helping people as well.
And then now these things and like
It keeps coming back to that.
it's always that helping people.
Yeah.
So it's always helping people is my core thing.
Right.
Like, and if I resist that, then I'm gonna get stuck in a rut and hate myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I embrace it and go, look, my core is to help people. If I keep helping people, I know my life is worth it. So it's about finding your core and finding your why, about why you're here. That's the exciting part, is finding out why you're here.
And that relates back to purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's finding out why you're here. Like, I mean, it would be weird, like, if you said, I'm put on this earth to teach people guitar, but it's like, it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
There's a deeper meaning behind it. So,
100%.
what do you think? Let's put you on the spot again. In every video. What do you think your core thing is? What have you always liked? What's always kept you out of the ruts?
Creativeness. For example, I like doing videos. I like taking photos. I like writing songs. I like playing. I like teaching. It all comes back to the inner creativity. Creativity is what kind of keeps me going. What that's my fire, essentially. You know what I mean? Like that's my way out of everything. So I guess that's kind of my core, I would say.
See, if you're in a rut, you don't really. There's a high probability that you don't know what you're good at. There's a high probability that you don't know what you're good at. Especially
exactly.
It's mainly this 18 to 25 age bracket that suffer with this a hell of a lot.
Because you're trying to figure your life out.
Yeah, you're trying to find it out. But a lot of people don't have that patience to discover it. They're like, oh, well, such and such is coaching tennis, or this person's an MMA fighter. They found their thing. What do? I drink on the weekends and work a job that I don't like. It's like, find what you're good at. Find what you enjoy about, giving back. Especially if you're in a rut, the idea that goes through your mind is to just take from the world and take from the people around you. And if you do that, you'll just feel shit because you're just taking and taking and taking. But really, I've said this before, it's about what can you give back. So if you feel shit, try helping other people with whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll discover that there's a joy and an inner happiness to helping people.
Working together as a humanity.
Yeah, and giving value to other people, not taking from them, not expecting anything in return.
100%.
But purely just trying to help them with their lives.
Yeah.
And in turn, that'll help you discover a bit more about yourself, because what do we really know about ourselves? Like, we spend so much time with other people and observing their ruts.
Yeah.
And observing their traits, and observing what they like, what they don't like. What do we really know about ourselves?
Yeah.
And if you're in a rut, you don't know anything about yourself, or you barely know anything about yourself. You don't know what you like, what you want to do, or anything like that. You're just stuck.